Today up we have my dryer. I've worked on this thing before, but today it started making a funny noise. So if you close it, hit the on button, something doesn't sound quite right. Open it. Usually you'll see the clothes have been tumbling, but the clothes are still. So the tumbler is not moving. Everything else seems to be working, but the tumbler's not going, and that can't be a good thing. And I don't know why. This just started, so let's take it apart and see what's up. Now I've had this thing apart before. I've actually had the tumbler out before, it's just I don't remember how to do it. So let's see if we can figure out how to do it. Looks like this bottom piece just pulls out, I think. There. The bottom piece has these gripper things you just lift up and pull out. It's not easy, but... The other thing I always remember to do is unplug the power. There you go. It's these stupid gripper things. These make no sense. Give me 4 screws, pull the panel out, no problem. But instead, for some reason, somebody decided this needed to be pretty and not functional. I.e. never serviceable. Bing. Alright, so you got 2 tabs in the front. Push down on those, pull out. And this gripper tab down here is actually broken, so... Actually, I think I can already see the problem. Looks like the belt snapped. I think it's time for a new belt. Now the tumbler itself seems to be pretty freely mobile. So, don't know why the belt snapped. Looks like I'll need to get a new belt. Then we'll see how to put that in. Just so everybody sees what the model number is. It's a Kitchenaid. I think it's made by Whirlpool. There you go. KEYE 677BWH2. So today we get lucky. This is a factory part, 341241. Sears happened to have it, even though it's a Sunday, they were open. So I actually did the smart thing and I bought 2. And not just that, but rollers as well, because I don't know why this frayed. I bought rollers. I bought the idler. Factory certified part. These are Whirlpool parts. Now, of note, this and this, I don't know if you can see that, but this and this appear to be 2 different belts. However, this supposedly is the correct replacement belt. So why they've gone to a weaker belt, I don't know. Anyway, let's see if we can get this apart and figure out how to put the belt in. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take the laundry out of here. The dryer is an amazingly unlikely design. Worse than a chainsaw. If you notice, I bought 2 rollers. Since this is a drum, you'd have to say, geez, there should be 4 rollers to balance the whole thing out. But in fact, there's only 2. On the back side are the rollers. The front side, the front of the drum is only held in place by this sheet metal. This just piece of sheet metal kind of holds the front of the whole thing in place, and the 2 rollers over there are kind of offset. I don't understand it, I can't explain it, but that's the way it is. Again, I actually have had this apart once, so there is some semblance of knowing what I'm doing, but not much. Okay, 2 screws looks like. They're hex. This is 5/16. I don't know if that's the exact size, but this doesn't fit. This is going to come off. The tumbler, I think, kind of is held in place. So let's I forgot. I think I may actually have to take the top off. So let's pull this out. Couple of screws in the back. Pull the lint screen out. 2 screws here. Don't know if they have anything to do with anything. This pops up. So the front thing is actually held on by 2 screws instead of clips. They decided to put screws in here. So here's the open bay. Just taking this on my cell phone, and there's 1 screw here and 1 screw here that I'm fighting with. So everything else pops off except for those screws. Fantastic, huh? Alright, so I'm going to take those off, and then the drum is probably going to fall when that happens. So let's do 1. Kind of like that. By the way, this is all sheet metal, so everything's sharp. There is a wire here. That's bad. White wire to the outside. Just pulls off. Should probably release that first. And there are these springs. Don't know exactly how they go, so we'll keep an eye on those. Alright, so now, let's look at the drum. Come right. It does. Sort of. The drum aside. So there are the 2 rollers. And somehow, it looks like my thing here has fallen off. Those rollers don't feel or sound very good anyway. So let's clean this all out. Put it all back together. So these rollers are oilite bearings instead of actual bearings, and this is not good feeling. There's this plastic piece here that really needs to be an E-clip, but it's not. Probably going to have to replace this with an E-clip because this just looks like it's going to be frustrating. And because it's plastic, it's probably going to break. Here's the plastic piece. Again, should be an E-clip, but it's not. And this should slide right off, which it does. Appears to be uniform both sides. A little bit of degreaser. Tiny amount here just to clean it. Instead of an actual bearing, it's an oilite bearing. So I'll have to add oil to this. Now let's do the other one. Looks like this other one's going to be even more of a pain, but let's undo this part first. That's some stupid clip on there. I'm just going to peel this out. It's just a spring clip. Get some pliers here. Pop, that comes off. Brace comes off. And right there again we have this plastic thing that should be an E-clip. And this will work. And it broke. There's a big surprise there. And the odds I'm going to have new is going to be low, which means I have to come up with a solution. Lovely. Which means E-clips. I'm going to take a guess here. I have an E-clip assortment, which I'll show you in a minute, but this is a 1/2 inch E-clip. That's going to be perfect. That's metal, not plastic. It'll never break. And it's quite reusable. So, 1/2 inch E-clip. So these E-clips come in an assortment. You get them from, this happens to be from Pep Boys, but this is a Dorman assortment. Like, you just get E-clips, and boy, this has saved me a lot of time and aggravation. A little good old-fashioned 3-in-1 oil on here. Roller goes back on, that's a whole lot smoother. Now we'll see if the E-clip fits. Beauty. Perfect. Boy, that was a great guess. Let's do the other one. Get a little bit of 3-in-1 on it. Again, that goes on. And that one looks like it's got a lot of play to it, but whatever. There is a clip on the back, so I don't know why it's got so much play, but alright. E-clip goes on. Yeah, I think that rolls a lot better. Good. How about the roller now? According to the directions, the pulley goes in this way. I assume it's going to more or less line up with that, so that makes sense. And it tensions this direction. So what I think we're going to have to do is put the belt through here. And again, I'm not impressed with the design. But the belt is actually in both ends go through here and grab that. And this is what tensions it effectively that way. I'm going to put that other metal bracket back with the spring clip. spring clip just presses back on here. I assume it's for weight-bearing purposes. Now we get the drum. What I thought I'd do is use something like that to hold this end of the drum up. Again, for the record, this is a terrible design. So, drum goes in a little bit. This piece could use a repair eventually. Brand new belt. Belt goes around the drum. So it hangs on the lower side. The drum this way. It's going to sit on the rollers back here. From the front, I just need something to hold it up temporarily. So let's see if we can get onto the rollers. That's why it's taken away. This roller's too far back. Out. Then it should sit in there. Yeah, so now it sits. So the other roller on that side you have to pull out so it sits properly in the groove. I'm going to line up the belt more or less on the mark on the drum. Let's put the front back, because the front's going to hold this up. Then we can go back down and tension the belt. Lift it up. In place, more or less. Any type of support underneath actually helps a lot. Let's do the other one. This is the old installation as the reverse the removal trick here. Good. Don't forget to put these wires back here. Click, click, click. Before I put the top back down, I'm going to put a little bit of grease on these things, because I hate them. Anything that makes pulling the top off of this easier, I'll do. This comes down. Pop, pop. These are for some dumb reason Phillips instead of hex. Let me figure out where these springs go. There are metal brackets under here that for some reason hold springs. I don't know why. They're the metal brackets that stick out. They're easy to grab, no big deal. One. Two. So now you can see the belt hanging down. Why do I have a sneaky suspicion that this is going to be kind of silly? Alright, so the belt goes on the motor. goes around the motor. I bet the tensioner will put in the motor. Nope. The belt goes through the tensioner. Yeah, so let's undo the tensioner. Bring the belt through the tensioner over to the motor. Good. Like that. So now it's hanging, and you can see that if and when we bring the tensioner down and somehow get it in there, we'll be good. That's essentially going to be impossible. Okay, let's try the other way. Put the tensioner down. Pull this through. Pull it way back and then onto the motor. That seems to work. There you go. It's the third way to do it. Now this appears to be tensioned. I hear it moving. So now we can actually turn the thing on and see how it goes. Hopefully it doesn't shred anything. Right? Right. So you stay right there. I'm gonna hit the on button. I just plugged everything back in, so let's see. Looks correct to me. Let's put the lower piece back on. At this point, I really don't think I was taking it off correctly. This is it. It goes on there, and then these tabs help it just click in like that. So if you're going to remove it, you take the top out first. It makes more sense to do it that way. Alright, so we're back up and running. Thing. So that screen goes back in. Now it looks like it's actually tumbling. Now we can take all of our clothes that aren't dried. And we're good to go. So that should be about that for a whirlpool or Kitchenaid dryer. I think whirlpool is essentially the same. Whirlpool made the Kitchenaid dryers. So that should be that for this type of video. Thank you to Sears for having the part and for being open today. And I'm glad that we were able to get this done because it's really bad being without laundry. So, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.